Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Casual Sports Podcast, and welcome back to the stage, Matt Morrison, who's for some reason repping Pablo Escobar today.
I found this shirt in my closet. I'm wearing it.
Well, Matt, it's definitely an interesting clothing choice here for the Casual Sports Podcast, but you're wearing it nonetheless, and glad you're wearing it with confidence because somebody had to. But Matt, it's been a while since you've been on the show, so I guess I'm going to hand you the stage here first.
All right.
Talk a little bit about NBA Finals here to start out the show. Golden State and Boston, Game 4 tonight. What have your thoughts been of the series thus far this week?
All right, so there's several things. I've been watching this whole series. I've been watching pretty much every game. I've been trying to stay up. I don't know. First of all, why are they on at 9? I'm gonna bring my dad in just for a second. He said back in the '80s, there'd be NBA Finals games on at 1:00. I'm like, why are they so late? Because we could be watching it right now and not have to worry about staying up.
Well, then people on the West Coast, Matt, are watching it at 9, or watching it at 11 p.m. a.m.
That's what you get from living over there. Moving to a normal time zone. All right. But, Stephen Curry and his gang, they've all been here before, and, this is what? There's 6 finals in 8 years, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
They still don't have the whole professional courtesy. I'm singling out Draymond Green here a little bit. Come on, man. Why are you out here making these comments like this every time you're in the finals? Every time. It was with Cleveland. It was with when Toronto was in there, and now it's with Boston. It's always something with him, and, I have to say that I wasn't really a big fan of him before, but I've kind of lessened up a little bit now. But still, man, can't be made. Just play the game. If you were focused on what you were doing instead of everybody else, the series could probably be different right now. But Curry's still showing off his stuff. He made a comment the other day saying that he still believes that he's in his prime. That's questionable. I mean, he's still putting up great numbers. But I still think he's a little bit of a shell of his former self, a little bit, but not totally. The guy's still playing at a great level. But the Stephen Curry 5-6 years ago, let's put it like this: the Golden State Warriors of 5 or 6 years ago would have beaten the crap out of this Golden State Warriors. Period. I mean, there's not even a chance that this Golden State Warriors would even compare to the team that they were, 5 or 6 years ago. But now I'm going to jump on this Boston side. Jason Tatum, we've been talking about this all year long. Mostly for a while for you. Jason Tatum is taking control of this team. He is showing that, hey, I'm a rising star. I'm going to be a leader in this league. I am here. And no matter who I'm facing, no matter if it's the best in the game, like Stephen Curry, in this day and age, Jason Tatum is going up against, Michael Jordan or, even a LeBron type, This is his version of it. This is what he's seeing. This is his test. And you know what? He's succeeding so far. They're back at what they play tonight. They're back in Boston tonight. And it is going to be very hard for them to I know Golden State's going to come back, and I hope they make this a pretty good series because I don't really want to see 3-1. I want to see a competitive 6-7 game series. I don't want to see this go in 5 games, and I think that would really deteriorate some of the how would you say that? The what?
Legacy of Golden State.
The legacy of Golden State. You're really going to go out in 5 games against Jason Tatum and a bunch of sidekicks. You got old Al Horford, who, the guy's inconsistent, but he can pull something out here.
When he's on, he's on.
When he's on, he's on. But he's not on all the time. If he was on all the time, I'd be pretty convinced that this would be a sweep. But
probably a top 10 center in the NBA too, if he's always playing at his highest level.
Yeah. But I really like the way Derek White has performed. Where did this dude come from? And we've seen not necessarily a lot in this in this series, but Pritchard has been there too. Hopefully, he's been up and down a little bit. And I know we've been talking in the group chat about the referees here. Like they're not for Boston, they're not for Golden State. Like they're making terrible calls on both sides of the court in like key moments of the game, too. So I'm like, just let these guys play. Let the old dogs and let the young dogs play. Like this, come on. Like why do they have to feel like they have to be a huge part of this NBA Finals? Okay, I don't or any series. We've seen that with baseball and football too. Just let these guys play. They're here. They're. I don't get it. I don't like that part. I think they, like I just said, I think they should just let them go out there and compete. And
all the fouls that are fouls, but get rid of the ticky-tack stuff. This is the NBA Finals.
Yeah, really. Because there's some offensive charge calls in there. I'm like, what? Or there was a call the other night where I forget who it was on Boston, but Curry slightly grabbed his arm and they called a foul on him. He had like 3 fouls before halftime. I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't get it. You go ahead and come in and give me your input now.
Yeah, well, Matt, part of the series right now for me between these two has kind of been a feeling out process so far. Game 1 for Boston, when they took that in Golden State, Mike and I were talking about it afterwards, and we kind of both were leaning on the same opinion. Golden State, they were there feeling out that game. It didn't feel like they were in it. Game 2 was their response to Game 1. They came out, did everything right. They won the ball game, going away knowing they were the better team on that day. On Sunday, they were the better team in that series. Now here on Wednesday, they go back to Boston. And yet again, it looks like Golden State was there kind of just reacting to what Boston was doing. They were just sitting there seeing what Boston was going to give them at home. And I think especially in that first quarter when they got behind, they were kind of just sitting there waiting for their time to come back, because that normally does. Normally they start hitting their shots and it's good. They get the big third quarter. They take the lead just for a moment. Marcus Smart comes back and hits a dagger 3 in their face. And that, for me, was the turning point in Game 3.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart came out there and hit Golden State with what Golden State has done to everybody over the last 7 years, of when they needed a big shot and their opponent is climbing back into it, they hit a 3 and cut off the momentum. Marcus Smart did that in Game 3, gave the momentum back to Boston. I don't think they looked back at that point. They ran away, especially in that fourth quarter. Golden State got held to just 11 points in the fourth. That can't happen in Game 4. I don't care if Boston is winning by a ton of points in this fourth quarter. Golden State has to shoot the ball better. Going into tonight's game, I kind of am expecting a similar game to what we saw in Game 2. Game 2 right now, I feel like should translate back to Game 4. We saw Boston take the jump out in Game 1 of the homestand. Now I'm waiting for Golden State's response. Are they going to come back out and get back into that flow like we saw in Game 2? Are they going to finally block out the noise that we saw in the crowd that got them very frustrated in Game 3? Are they going to get back within their style of play and avoid foul trouble? Right now, I'm worried for Golden State, because I think for the first time, there are too many question marks for them, and Boston has all the answers. And that's the big differential I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, it is. You couldn't have said it any better there. I really don't think that Golden State's going to go out with a whimper. I think they can come back and get this game. I really don't see like we grew up with this team,
There's your point. We grew up with this team. It's been a 7-year run. These aren't the same players we saw back in 2015.
Yeah, no, not one bit.
This isn't even the same teams we saw in the last 3 years from either one of these groups.
Yeah, well, it's been a decade since Boston's been in an NBA
2010.
I believe was the
last win.
12 years. 12 years. They lost to Kobe Bryant, I believe, and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so they're always facing those LA teams or California teams for some reason. It's always Boston.
It's the interesting stat. It's like every team that's been in the NBA Finals in the last, I think, 15 years have come out of that division that Golden State, the Kings, the Clippers, and the Lakers all play in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every Western Conference champion has come out of that division.
Yeah, except last year was Phoenix, but I mean that's like a small little injury there. But I mean,
once
before that, one time. So just but key things for the Warriors here: block out the noise, like you said. Don't worry about anything else, Draymond Green, except for playing the game. He's out talking trash, and he only got like 2 points in the other game or whatever.
Well,
Isaiah
here's the thing
Thomas
for Draymond right now. He has 15 points and 15 fouls. He's fouled out in 2 out of the 3 games so far. Draymond Green is a liability for Golden State.
He was 5 or 6 years ago too. He was one of the main things why they lost that 2016 NBA Finals. He got suspended.
And he's still 2 technical fouls away. And you've seen the refs in the series be very cautious on throwing techs his way. And he probably has deserved maybe 2 or 3 already in this series that he hasn't gotten called on.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it was the fighting with Jaylen Brown when he tried to pull his pants down in front of 20,000. By the way, here's the one. He's mad at fans screaming F you Draymond with children in the building. He tried to pull down another man's pants in front of children in the building. Which one's worse?
Yeah. This isn't a circus. This is a professional
Draymond Green
sport.
is playing basketball on the playground.
Yeah.
That's where Draymond Green plays his best basketball, is no refs, nobody can do anything, and he's just going to punch you in the mouth because he's Draymond Green, and he thinks that he could play in the 90s. I don't care if you could play in the 90s. Play now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was Isaiah Thomas.
The other day he was talking about...
Isaiah Thomas came out and mentioned this yesterday. About Draymond Green talking about playing back in the 90s and such. And it's one of those things. Yeah, here it is. This comes from Isaiah Thomas criticizing Draymond Green's lack of focus during the NBA Finals. And the quote is, quote, "You're talking about Cedric Maxwell and you're talking about podcasts and you're talking about the fans, then you have really lost your concentration and your focus." And where does that show up? That shows up in the box score. In a game like tonight where you played 34 minutes, you have 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 points. Draymond Green does that in a grade school game, not in the NBA Finals, end quote. That was Isaiah Thomas, and the good one, not the short one.
Yeah, the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, the guy that battled with Larry Bird and even Magic Johnson. Like Magic Johnson and him were like
a little bit of Jordan too.
Oh, and Michael Jordan. We'll throw Michael in there too. Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about when it comes to playing in big games.
Huh?
He knows what he's talking about when it comes to playing in big games is the point.
But Magic and Isaiah were like best friends. But when they played in the NBA Finals, like they were cussing at each other. That friendship went out the window. Like that dude did anything to win. So he knows what he's talking about. I've seen all the documentaries. But I definitely agree with him. Like focus on the game. That's it. That's all you got to do. Boston's out here with a determination to take this NBA title. And Golden State's acting like they've never even been here before. So they're acting like a bunch of kids.
They are, and that's the thing I think we weren't expecting. I think we were kind of expecting the opposite in this series. Golden State, experienced veteran. They've been here before. They know how to act. They should have come in focused, and you would have expected Boston to be the ones talking after every game, making all the noise, complaining about every call, and it really hasn't been that way. I mean, they've obviously been complaining about calls, yes, but not on the post-game pressers. They have kept it very professional, and I love right now what Ime Udoka is making this team into. Because under Brad Stevens, they were that talkative squad. They were that team that probably needed to learn to quiet down a little bit and just go out there and do what they do best instead of talking about what to do. So. Kyrie Irving was a big part of that. Gordon Hayward. They were more worried about bringing in the next big name instead of finding the one in-house. Now under Udoka, they've really focused in on making their guys their guys. And I think that's the biggest difference I've seen and the biggest reason why this Boston team is what it is, because Boston, when they've been great, it's homegrown products. Los Angeles is the team that goes out and buys the superstars. Boston builds them. And that's the biggest difference I've seen out of this Boston team this year. It's the homegrown boys that are getting it done for the Boston Celtics. And that it concerns me going to Game 4 that I don't have confidence in Golden State. And this is, I think, the first time in the NBA Finals I've looked at Golden State and I went, you can't win. Because they don't have the mentality. They're not hitting the shots. They can't rebound. They're turning the ball over way too much. And they're known for the three-point shooting. Well, Boston's outshot them in just about every game.
Yep. I had a little worry coming into this NBA Finals because especially with the Eastern Conference Finals, like Miami, what was that stat? Miami like won 2 quarters and still went to like 7 games. That is out the window. I think it was a little bit more because they put a couple games after that fact. But I mean, that one is out the window right now. Like they don't even look like that team that won that Eastern Conference Finals. They don't look like them at all. I think they had a little team meeting and some words were said, and they're like, "Hey, we can't play like." They played like crap in that Eastern Conference Finals, and just some way or in another, they came out on top, and they totally changed their game plan, and it is working right now. So Golden State's got to jump on that. Yes, they've been there before. Yes, they have all that experience, but I mean, that's not going to just because you've been there and you've won 3 rings, doesn't mean you're going to do the same thing every time you get there. So
yeah, there's no guarantees in basketball. I think that's what Golden State has. They learned that against Toronto. They learned that against Cleveland. They're learning it again here. And right now, this series is really hurting the dynasty, I think, of Golden State. And I think you can finally say, if Boston closes this one out, that Kawhi Leonard did, in fact, end the Golden State dynasty.
Kawhi Leonard. Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard with Toronto.
Yeah.
Because afterward, I mean, obviously the questions about injuries and such were the big thing.
With
And
Klay Thompson.
he didn't really, end it. Just Steph and Clay went down, and they didn't have any other options to go to in that series. But I think right now you're looking at this series, and if Golden State doesn't turn it around, then this wasn't a continuation of their dynasty. It was a good season for them.
Yeah.
And that would mean that Kawhi Leonard in the Toronto Raptors did, in fact, put an end to the Warriors dynasty.
Yeah, a little bit. And then here comes Tatum to put that little cherry on top, pretty much.
Tatum and Brown, man, I'm loving this duo. Probably one of the most exciting duos to watch right now.
And you know what's sad? That they're developing and like I know they're not well into their career. Or they're a little bit. I don't think they're both reached 30 yet. But
not even close, Matt. Jason Tatum is 24, and I think Brown's 23.
Well, good. So we're going to see this on. I just feel like they've been in the league for a long time.
These guys, technically, based on what we know about players, are still maybe 3-4 years away from hitting their prime.
Yeah.
And they're already looking like they can win an NBA title.
Especially they keep these 2 guys together.
That's the one thing you hope happens. They have Tatum locked up until 2024. And Jaylen Brown looks like he re-signed as well to a 4-year deal, and he's wrapped up to 24 as well.
Good.
Both guys.
Because we've seen dynamic duos be split up before, and it's just sad. Like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. I was upset when
How about Jordan and Pippen after their years?
That Jordan too. But like I'm talking
left
like
and
most
came back and went to the Wizards.
Yeah, I'm talking about most recent, though.
Yeah.
But
you can even say,
you can even say Kobe and Shaq too, but they hated each other.
Still a great duo. But how about LeBron and Kyrie? That would have been can you imagine what that duo might have been?
Yeah.
That might be one of the biggest what-if duos in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is 25. Tatum is 24.
Okay. Damn. I thought they were way older. How long have they been playing?
6 years. They were both brought in at 18, 19 right out of college. They were one-year starters in college.
Wow.
Came in young.
Well, that's the way to do it, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at these guys are going to be playing 10 years in the league before they really even are hitting their prime, at least.
Yeah.
So.
That's the way. I mean, that's the way. It kind of happened that way with Stephen Curry. I mean, he was drafted in 2009, and then we didn't really see him full flight until 2015, 16. So it just takes time, and their time's coming. It's like on the brink. If they get this NBA title, I mean, that's really gonna start things. So that's it. We burned 20 minutes. Oh.
And we haven't even made predictions yet for Game 4. So, Matt, let's go ahead and do this. To start off, Golden State, Boston Celtics, Game 4 tonight in the TD Garden at 9 p.m. Matt, I'll hand it over to you first to start it off, since you haven't made a pick since Monday.
Yeah, so I'm really skeptical about this. I really don't see Golden State like falling down 3-1. I really don't see that at all. But I mean, you forget where they're at. They're in the Garden. I don't care if it's a TD Garden. It's still Boston. It's still the Boston Garden. Okay, and that is a very hard place to win. It no matter what.
As documented in Game 3.
Yeah, and as documented in the rivalry between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. So I remember watching documentaries like. All I remember is ML Carr. He didn't even play a minute, but he was just stirring up the crowd, making the whole crowd go nuts, and saying trash talking, the Lakers and everything. Like I don't per se they have a guy like that now, but it's still a tough place to win. I mean, when they flash forward to we're going back, but back then it was a flash forward to when they hired Pat Riley and they had I can't even think of his name. I mean, he's the NBA logo. Help me out.
Jerry West.
Yeah, they brought back Jerry West as an assistant, and he was like, "I'm not going to Boston." He couldn't return back to Boston because of the horrifying memories that were left. I mean, they lost to them in the NBA Finals like how many years in a row? I mean, to Bill Russell. Bill Russell had 11. I think Jerry West had 1 or 2, maybe. I don't know. But like the horrifying events that that are left with people when they go there, like it's horrible. I don't have Golden State winning this. I have Boston winning this. I got Boston taking this.
Going into Game 4 tonight, obviously, I've said my concerns with the team so far. At the end of the day, though, I mean, as much as I hate to keep saying it, they are Golden State. And
yeah,
it's one of the things, you don't see them lose back-to-back games too many times. And I do think that's going to be a big part of this, is they're not likely to have that happen. So I'm going to look at this a little bit. It happened during the Toronto series. It happened during the Cleveland series. But this is Golden State. We know they are one of the best responding teams in basketball, and they've even showed that already. Game 1, got punched in the mouth. Game 2, they were the one punching. Game 3, they got it taken to them. Third quarter, they still dominated. And going here, Game 4 tonight, well, I'm not confident in them, and I'm not going to pick them. I'm not completely pushing them aside here. I think they have a very big chance because at the end of the day, they have 2 of the best shooters that have ever stepped on the hardwood in the NBA's history in Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. If those boys go off, they win this game. But
and they have their
I said Jordan Poole and Draymond Green were going to be the guys that went cold in the prior game. I was right on that pick. I think this game, I think you see a little bit better out of Draymond Green. I think he responds to some of the haters in this one because he does tend to do that coming off a bad game. He does tend to bounce back eventually. I think it's a bounce back night for him, but I think Klay goes cold once more. Steph Curry, I'm not going to rely on him to have a bad night. I think Jordan Poole gets back into it, but I don't think Looney gets anything done on the board. I said Klay Thompson's going to be off. I think Poole maybe gives you 10, 11, 12 points in this game. Nothing major on it. I think Boston figured him out. For the Boston side, I have them winning Game 4 tonight, going up 3-1 in the series, and likely to win it here after that, as we've only seen one comeback, and it was against the Warriors. On the Boston side, Tatum has been hot. He's figuring things out. I think he got a big chance right now. 25-point triple-double tonight. I'm calling it right here, calling my shot. Al Horford, I'm going to go this way as well. A triple-double for Al Horford as well. I think he's going double-digit rebounds tonight. His points have been up. His assists have been up. Robert Williams, give him double-digit rebounds tonight. Celtics are going to out-rebound the crap out of Golden State here tonight. And put that one in your scrapbooks. You heard it here first. Jaylen Brown's going for 20 points. Marcus Smart, I'm going to give him 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Derek White's going to be a menace on the defensive side of things. Grant Williams, I want to see him get back into the defensive mindset. When he is on, he's a great paint protector for the Boston Celtics.
Have you seen Williams and Grant Williams and there's 2 Williams, isn't there?
Yeah.
The Williams. Have you seen them stuff everybody? There's a block the other game. I think it was the other Williams. Who's the other guy? Not the dude from Tennessee. Robert Williams.
What are you saying?
What was his name? What are their names?
Williams?
Yeah.
Robert Williams and Grant Williams?
Yeah, Robert Williams had this huge stuff. I'm just sitting there. I was falling asleep, and I saw this stuff. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I woke up. I almost jumped out of my chair. The ball went all the way to the other side of the court. This dude said, get this weak stuff out of here, man. Holy cow. Yeah, and I like how you brought up, can they come back from 3-1 if they fall down to 3-1? And
if anything knows how to do it, it's going to be Golden State because they saw it firsthand.
Yeah. But look at that Golden State team that gave up that 3-1 lead. Like, that was like a dynamite team. This team is a shell of that team. Like, do you expect that team or this team now to come back from a 3-1 team when that dynamite team couldn't even win one more game? I don't get it. I don't know. If they fall down again, if they fall down 3-1, I think that's it. So they're going to come out and fight. And,
it's Klay must Thompson, win tonight. Must win.
Steph's going to be Steph. Klay Thompson, man, he's got to reach down inside and just pull something that will bring an ounce of that former self that he used to be before that horrific injury back in 2019 that sidelined him for 2 years. This is the game
Klay
where
Thompson
he has
still had 25 points that last game, but Matt, you're right. He doesn't really feel like he's all there.
No.
And some of that was garbage time points as they were trying to get him into a rhythm, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to figure out a way to get him hot, and it just has not happened.
Nope. They have a great protege. I mean, in Jordan Poole. This dude, I
want to see Gary Payton Jr. get some more minutes, by the way. He had 11 last night. I want to see him and Iggy get some more minutes in here. Otto Porter's been kind of slumping.
You have Iguodala on your team. That guy was a 2015 MVP.
He's the only Finals MVP on the team.
Yeah.
It can't hurt at this point to put him in. He's old.
I don't care how old he is. I'd said the same thing about Miami Heat and Udonis Haslem. The guy sitting on the bench, like, all right, I know he's like, what, 40?
Iggy is 38 years old, by the way.
He's 38 years old. How old is Iguodala?
Well, Iguodala's 38.
Oh, okay. I think Iguodala's
Haslem is 42.
Oh, geez, he's 42. Oh, man. But that's not even old. I mean, 42 is still young, but it's old in basketball.
It's old for sports.
It's old for sports. It's not
35 is the retirement age in sports most of the time.
Yeah. He looked like seeing Udonis Haslem on the bench, he looked like Kendrick Perkins for the Cavs. You remember when Kendrick Perkins was he didn't play for the Cavs, but he was part of the Cavs. He just wore a suit the whole time. He didn't even play. That's like Udonis Haslem. I think he's more of as a mentor, and I don't think they should have brought Iguodala in just for that. I get that he has some knowledge to give out, but play him.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Iguodala get in, if not just for a final send-off for Golden State, especially if they go down 3-1. I think he makes an appearance in Game 5, gets some actual minutes in there, so he gets his final send-off, especially since that'll come back in the Chase Center in Golden State, where he's played the last couple, or at least in front of the fan base, he's played the last couple of years for this team, last 7-8 years of his career. So, but Matt, Game 4, I got Boston taking it. I think they're going to have a great night. They go up 3-1, and it's sad to say, but this may be the end of Golden State.
Yeah.
Being the dynasty that we know them as, they're still going to be a good team. They're going to be back next year. They're going to be in the Western Conference Finals more than likely. We saw how great they were. I doubt that's all going to fall off in 1 year. I'm just saying their dynasty, if they lose tonight, unless they make a 3-1 comeback, is done.
Yeah. And I'm going to throw this in here too. The Chase Center has nothing on the Oracle at all. I don't feel the same intensity of watching these games from when I saw the Oracle, and then there's the Chase Center. I get it's the same, same state, same crowd, everybody's there. But that Oracle, I don't know. I just feel a different vibe, That's all. That's just how to put that in there.
Yeah, no, I get where you're going at, but I still think the Chase Center, they got a little bit of time to figure out how to get back to that momentum, but I think they got a good thing built up and over there. Not overly concerned with what's going to be happening at the Chase Center. But Matt, half hour into the show, let's kick it over to hockey now, where last night, Game 5, Lightning went up 3-1. Finally broke the Rangers' home win streak that stood at, I believe, 8 games there in a row. And they also broke the Eastern Conference trend of pretty much the home team was going to win it every single time. And that was a big change up. Vasilevsky has been on these last 3 games, Matt.
Yeah.
He has been turning it on for Tampa. And I think Shesterkin's fallen off a little bit.
Oh, yeah. He is.
The 2 goals in the third period, it killed him.
Yeah, I'd call him some choice names here and there, but I won't say that on there. But, this Rangers team, they're the bullies. And, sooner or later, the good guy's going to come in and be like, you're not going to bully me around. They're still putting out hits. Rooney still and Trouba are putting out these hits that are still going unnoticed. These guys should have been suspended like 5 times already. They should have been suspended for targeting star players. Like, Stamkos is out there, and I'm going to throw this out here. Panarin, the bread man, where the heck they call him, he thinks he's hot crap. Just remember where you played the past 10 years on. This is no, Alec, this is no shade on your team, but he's been in Columbus, okay?
Yeah, there's no shade there.
Yeah.
I know what's going on in Columbus.
You think you come in here and make a couple slick shots? I don't even know how you're running up with these big boys out here today or this whole playoffs. He thinks he's this stuff. Like, oh, yeah. Look where you've been playing. You should have done that with Columbus, honestly. So I can't stand him. He's probably one of the most hated players right now for me. But, the Lightning. See, I'll throw my dad in here one more time. I'm not going to make the whole show about my dad. But he's like, I want the Rangers and stuff. I don't like Florida teams. Like, are you serious, man? I can't even watch the games with him. I'm like, no, I don't want them. They're horrible. I don't want to see this thug-like team win a championship at all. I'd rather see Colorado win. And Colorado, Tampa versus Colorado is going to be a heck of a matchup if it turns out to be that way. Man, that's Tampa Bay has been on top for the past 2 years. I will talk more about it if it happens, but Tampa Bay has been top of NHL the past 2 years. And here comes Colorado, this slick team that has been in the playoffs but haven't done anything. Now they're here and they're ready to put their testament down, like saying, hey, we got a heck of a team. That'd be a heck of a matchup, man. So it's like old dog versus young dog in some sort of way, but we'll see what happens here tonight. Hopefully Tampa Bay finishes it off. It's in Florida, so they have a higher advantage, I believe, because that Amalie Arena is this electric. So that's one of the arenas I'd love to go see and watch a hockey game in. Now I know it's no throwing shade at the Madison Square Garden where the Rangers play. They're both tough places to play, but in any sport,
I think the thing is, Matt, though, with Madison Square Garden, it's the nostalgia factor. They haven't had something to cheer about there in a decade. Probably more.
So many things that happened there. The boxing,
60 years ago,
basketball,
30 years ago. I'll give you 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's
been a couple more than a
couple
minute.
More minutes.
For New York.
And all of the games there, all the teams you go to see there, they're all high priced, but except for the St. John's Red Storm, I'd love to go to Madison Square Garden to see that basketball team. Honestly, that's probably the cheapest you could get in there. Tickets are probably I have to look. The tickets probably no more than 100. I don't know. St. John's, but this is a heck of a series. Tampa Bay fighting back after being down 2-0. They're here. They're saying, hey, we're not going away so quietly. We've been here the past 2 years. We're going to try and make it 3 years in a row now. I can't remember last team. I think we said it a couple of weeks ago, last team who won it 3 years in a row. I think it was back in the early 80s, I think. But I don't know. We could see it again here. It's like the Triple Crown of horse racing, win 3 in a row. So I know 3 years, but I mean, there'll be something here. I don't want the Rangers. I'm picking the Lightning.
You got the Lightning punching their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. Matt, I have a response to that.
Oh no!
They're thugs. They're thugs. They could definitely come back and win this year's, but
here's the thing. I have been let me go. Hey, you had your time. Give me mine.
All right.
I have given up on New York at every turn. I have been the ultimate doubter here in this postseason. I have been the first guy to jump right off of New York and go, oh, they suck. Count them out. Went down to your team, Matt, and I went, well, shoot, that's got to be the end of it. Came back. Went down to the last series and went, oh, well, now it's finally caught up to them. Came back and took it in 7. Here again, they're falling down, and gosh darn it, I'm not giving up on them this time. This is when they're going to screw it up, and Tampa's going to win it. But I'm not giving up on them this time. I got the Rangers doing it. I don't know why. Tampa has been by far the better team. They're 100% the team I think that is going to win this series and probably win the game tonight. The team I want to win the game tonight. But for whatever reason, the Rangers, when the tables have been flipped and the cards are against them, they find a way. Life finds a way for the Rangers. And I don't know why Rangers are winning Game 6. They have no business winning it, but they're going to win it.
Yeah, they don't have business. They probably will win it just to piss me off more. But that's it.
I love it when teams do that to you.
Yeah.
It's always
it happens often, too.
It does. It really does. It gets pointed out on the show a lot.
Yeah, whether it be the Kansas City Chiefs or the Bruins and
or even your own teams in Penn State.
Oh God, yeah, or Pittsburgh. So
yep,
Cleveland.
Yeah,
but since I mentioned Boston and Pastrnak might be parting ways there. First of all, I think that's absolutely horrible. I mean, stupid. Like, why would you? I mean, this dude's like. I mean, I can't. Like, this has come from me. I hate Boston. I hate them. But to let one of those guys go and go somewhere else. By the way, whoever gets one of those guys is going to have a mean, on their team. And I think any player from that Boston team that leaves and goes to another team automatically gives that team a tough guy. And I would puke if he would come to Pittsburgh. But I'd be like, hey, we can finally have somebody that can beat the crap out of somebody. But I mean, I think that would be ridiculous. I mean, I know they just fired their coach, and he wants to part ways because of that. And there has been rumors that statement has been false. But, I mean, rumors are going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. So, that's it.
Yeah, wait and see. I mean, that seems to be the theme right now in just about all the sports, right? Wait and see. What do we have? And
I'm just watching.
Yeah. Just watching, standing around, waiting for something to happen. But Matt, let's flip it over to baseball here for the last 20 minutes. And before we get started with that, got to give a shout out. Oklahoma softball wins back-to-back national championships, and they did it in one of the biggest rivalries in softball as well against the Texas Longhorns, trailing down 2-0, by the way, in that game, came back and won it.
Yes, I have a friend that likes softball, and she gave me updates this whole series, and she gave me some interesting facts. The Texas Longhorns were, unseeded. They were unranked. They were, one of the first teams to do that, to come back. I don't think a team that has been down like that or has been unseeded like that to come in and go to the championship. And they took down Oklahoma State. The Oklahoma State, I don't think, lost the game all year. And here they come. Here comes this. I mean, Texas was a Cinderella type of team, but Oklahoma, I mean, they're coming in. I mean, they're a heck of a team. They deserved it. So hats off to them. They opened that game up. They won 10-2? They were down 2-0. Then they won. They blew it open. So,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on that. I mean, softball is a different style of game. I love watching it. I've called it. high school and college. I love it. I think it's, in a way, a little bit more competitive. I mean, the whole 60 feet compared to 90 feet, like they have to get that ball off in a matter of seconds. And I've convinced other people to be like, hey, all right, yeah, like a ground ball in baseball, if you bunt it, you have some time to get there and whip it over. In softball, you have to like dead sprint, get that ball, because I've seen so many bunts in softball become base hits, or even doubles.
A lot of hits for bunts, yeah.
Yeah, because
other way around.
Because even when they get the ball, they're so like on edge, like, oh no, I gotta get it out, and they overthrow it, and you can see it turn into a double. I've seen it. So I really like the competitive level for softball. I mean, if somebody came to me today and offered me a job to do anything, call or write, whatever, with the softball team or just cover them, heck yeah, I'd take it. It's a competitive sport. I like watching it. So.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a fun series. But Matt, you seemed real eager to jump in here to Major League Baseball.
Yes.
So I'll let you go ahead and take the lead on this, because Mike and I have talked it a bit the last couple of days, but I'll let it go over to you.
Man, all right. Our Cleveland Guardians are over 500, 27-26. Man, the players we got, man, the potential.
In the last 10, by the way.
Yeah, I know. The players we have, unbelievable. I mean, you got Ramirez going back to his MVP-like form. This new cat coming out of nowhere, and Oscar Gonzalez. Where did this dude come from? This dude is definitely something. You got Stephen Kwan still there. I mean, yeah, falling off just a little, but he's going to get better. He's going to learn from his mistakes. I love Ernie Clement at third base. He made some terrific. I watched the whole game last night. He made some terrific plays with like no hesitation. He knows what he's doing there. I love where this team is going. We're 3 games out of first place. We're coming, Minnesota. Cleveland is coming. Okay.
And we already do have tiebreaker wins over them, so that closes that gap down. Because normally we should be looking at about a 6-game gap between first and second. But we took the series against them earlier, so it's only 3. Yeah. We can overtake them here in the next couple of games. If Minnesota drops the next 3, we win the next 3. It's a tie for first, despite the fact that we would only have 30 wins compared to their 33.
Yeah, I love watching this team. I love watching this Guardians team more than past teams. When we were previously the Cleveland Indians, I'm seeing excitement in this team. I'm seeing a bunch of go-getters out there, and I think they're really playing hard, because I mean, not a lot of people like the name change, and a lot of people, I've met several people who are like, oh, I'm not even watching anymore because they're not the Indians anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's baseball in Cleveland. That's all that matters to me. And I think they're coming out here saying, go ahead, don't watch us. We're winning. Go ahead. Go mow the yard or something like that. We're going to win some games. I love watching this team. I really do. And just to see, all the guys coming together, and, Terry Francona guiding these guys, who, even though he got thrown out of the game last night, but that's just saying, like, hey, he's going to come up and he's going to bat for every one of these guys. He's going to come out and fight for every one of these guys that's on his team.
You won out of a head coach.
That's a leader right there.
That's going to fight for you.
That is a leader. He got thrown up because of he was fighting an interference call. It was I forget who it was. I think it was Stephen Kwan sliding in the second, and the ball was thrown over second, and he was trying to get up and possibly go to third because the ball was in the outfield, but the second baseman for the Rangers was like on top of him, and they didn't call interference, and Francona went off. Like his whole body was on him. Like, get off. You can't do that. But I love watching this team, and we're just gonna see from there. I've been watching other teams too. What in the heck is going on with the Angels? I know they finally won one, but they lost 14 in a row. Monday, Mike and I were talking about this. Where are we going to see this Angels team, from now? We're going to see teams that are high on top. We're going to see them fall. Are we going to see them fall? The Angels are falling. I don't know what's going on with Mike Trout. Something's got to happen. They're 1-9 in their last 10. So I don't get it. Now, hopefully we can see them bounce back. But another thing is here, the Houston Astros. I can't stand them at all, but like, look at them. Look at all the crap they have been through. They've been through managers, players have been traded away, Correa to Minnesota, bunch of names have left. And they still put teams together that are heck of competitive. Like, I'm out here watching them. Like, I know that when Cleveland played them, I think we won one or two of them. I think we won the first one, and they took the next two. But they're still a heck of a team. A lot of people are like, oh, they're stink. Like, did you just forget that they were in the World Series last year? They were just there. And I think that this team is going to possibly, we'll see them in more, honestly. Like, this Houston team is here. Like, everybody's overlooking them. They're a heck of a competitive team, even through all this crap that they have been through. So I like to see that. Even though I don't like them, I like to see that. Like, hey, you can throw anything at us, we're going to take it. Yeah, we cheated. We're living up to that, but now we're doing things the right way, and we're winning the right way. So we thought we know. But, I like to see that. And then I want to jump here. Everybody is still on the Mets. Look at the Mets, all right. And, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Mets versus Yankees World Series. Like, guarantee it's not going to be Mets versus Yankees. You might see the Yankees there because this will just be – I know we've seen teams before with the Yankees.
It's just one of those teams right now, right, for the Yankees. They're just they're doing everything right. It's one of those years.
It's just one of those years we might see the Yankees. Like, and that's coming for me. I can't stand the Yankees. This team's looking like, all right. Like, I know we've seen good teams from them before. They have all the high-paid players, but they haven't won anything. I think this is the first time that we might see it. And we haven't seen a World Series in New York since 2009. So I think this might be there where we might see that. I mean, 41-16, like, unbelievable. But then there's the Mets. Everybody's like, oh, they got this, NL East. Here comes the Atlanta Braves. They won 8 in a row. They're 6.5 back. I remember when they were 13-14 back. Now here they come. They were under 500 too. Now they're 4 games over 500. They're playing better. They're coming back to form. They got over that little World Series. We'll call it a hangover a little bit. The World Series hangover. We're gonna call it that. I think they're finally clicking. They have their outfielder. Their whole outfield looks different from last year. No more Jock Peterson. Yeah, and first baseman, of course, Freddie Freeman's gone as well. But they got all their outfielders back. Ozuna is back. He was suspended last year, and then Acuna Jr. is back too. I think they're finally getting back to that baseball rhythm because they haven't played in over a year. So, and that's part of that is going on in basketball right now. Klay Thompson, he just hasn't found that back. But he was out 2 years. So, but I like seeing that. And another team here, I know we've called them complete garbage before, and you probably take a guess. It's Mike's team, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, we've been talking about it these last couple of days. They're heating up, and they have lost 3 in a row now.
Yeah, they've lost. Yeah, of course.
Their entire division is on a huge losing streak now.
But they're showing shine. They're showing signs of improvement. They really are. They're playing all their young guys, which Mike really thought that they should do. Yeah, and I really think they're on the path to success here. But I don't know if Mike will agree or disagree with this. I know he doesn't like their manager, Derek Shelton. But look at the 2 guys that just got fired. I'd fire this Shelton guy right now and instantly hire Joe Girardi. Maybe not Joe Madden, but Joe Girardi has led. Joe Girardi was the manager of that Yankees team that won that World Series over a decade ago. So
a decade ago is the key word there, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go relying on old news to lead a new team.
And I think that whole Philly situation wasn't all on him. You got a lot of big names there that are going to bat heads with each other.
Yeah, Matt. But look, they fired him, and now they've won 7 straight.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think it was the right move. They're now just a game under 500.
That's good.
If it wasn't for the fact that Atlanta has now won 8 in a row and they're storming back into the race in the NL East, Philadelphia would have taken over that spot if Atlanta hadn't turned into an absolute monster right now.
Oh, yeah. That's my alone.
Welcome back to the NL East, Atlanta. Back in the conversation. Finally, man, they were just terrible for these last 2 months.
Yeah, here they come. Here they come. And another team I want to talk about just here, just slightly. I know they're probably one of the worst teams in baseball right now, but the Oakland Athletics. They've lost 9 in a row. They're 20-39. They're in dead last in the West of the AL. But I don't know. I still
and just
like
one team out of last in Major League Baseball, by the way.
Yeah, but they are well into a rebuild. They got rid of all the players, and
actually, hold on. On that note, they are actually the worst team in baseball.
They're the worst team in baseball.
Kansas City has one less win, but right now, based on not win percentages, but based on tiebreaker victories, they are ahead.
Okay.
I believe.
But I just keep thinking of that movie Moneyball. You know, they're a low market team. I know. I listen. They're not going to come back. They're not going to come back.
No.
They're not going to come back.
No. 1,000 times.
No.
I slammed it down and it stopped working, so I had to hit it again.
Like, they're a low market team. They're going to go through highs and lows.
They've always been a low market team, Matt. Yeah. They've always been low. They've had a couple of good seasons in their entire history. Stop going, they did one good thing one time. They flipped baseball on its head for a week of baseball. Oh, stop it already. Moneyball's a good movie. It's not going to happen again for Oakland.
They did win a World Series back in 1989.
You're talking about crap that's 33 years old.
But
I'm more confident in Seattle making the playoffs than Oakland winning a baseball game.
Let me finish, though.
No.
Let me finish.
Oh, no.
So, listen, they're a horrible team. I do like Brad Austin is there. He coached a couple. He's just a bench coach there now. He's not even a manager. Yeah, he managed some pretty good Detroit teams back in the day. I like some of their young players. Christian Patchy is there, but they got some old dudes on there. I mean, you got Elvis Andrus on that team. I'm like, man, Elvis Andrus is still playing. I was watching that last night. I'm like, this dude's still playing. He was an old Texas Ranger for a very long time. Now, like they're doing that same process. Like they're getting all the old guys, whatever they can afford. And, I'd really like to see the young guys that they bring up here. I mean, Christian Patch is the only guy that has some talent on that team right now. But I like to see them, develop again like they did before with Chapman and Olsen. Then those guys want money and then they leave. So, I mean, they can't afford it. So, because they're low market, but I like watching teams like that. I don't know. I like the low market. I mean, Cleveland's not really the richest team either. We're a low market team.
We're a medium market. They have money, they just don't spend it.
Yeah, I know. And
we still have like $90 million in cap space right now. So
hopefully that's changed. Everybody's like, oh, all right, the Dolans finally paid, Jose Ramirez. No. How about that minority owner that this came on who took 37% of the ownership? That's the guy that paid Jose Ramirez. And
here's the one thing I may be hoping for is they're getting ready to pay Shane Bieber in some of these young guys. Because one of the biggest problems is when we get to the point of it's time to re-sign guys, they don't have the cap space. I'm hoping this is one of those times they're waiting to see who's going to stick with this team. Yeah. And then they're going to give them the paychecks, which will be nice to finally see Cleveland start re-signing guys. I'm hoping that's where this is going. Don't know for sure, though. But, Matt, we got to get out of baseball here. We got to finish off the show. I'll give you one last thing if you can do it in a minute.
All right, I got a minute. So there's a couple signs that I know that the Dolans are on their way out of here. First, they changed the name so they can get a better sale. They wanted to get a better sale for the team, so they changed the name. They thought that would be a better reason for them to change the name or to sell the team. They get more money because, we changed the name. So they gave them the crappiest name ever. And then now the second reason is we're finally seeing players being paid. That's the other owner, and that's more reason why I think that the Dolans are out of here. Bye-bye. Get out. All right, I'm done.
You're done? All right, cool. Well, Matt, we got to wrap out the show as we always do here on a Friday edition. Can't believe the end of the week is already here. Matt, it feels like you've only been on twice. It's wild.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead. Highlight of the week. I'm going to go first on this one, and I got to say, the taking away of a home run during the World Championship in softball. Oklahoma, I mean, looked like they might have been down. It was that home run, probably could have put them away. Straightaway center. I don't remember the name of the girl. I'm sorry about it. But just jumps up over the wall, grabs it. She was halfway up that wall, too. I mean, she was over it. It looked like something we in the history books for Major League Baseball 20, 30 years ago.
I saw it. Yeah, I forget her name, too, but that's unbelievable. But highlight for me, I don't know. I like working with the Scrappers. I like going to their games. They have a heck of a team. They finally
Jada Coleman.
Huh?
Jada Coleman.
Oh, Jada
for
Coleman.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. She's a pretty darn good player. But I got to go with Mahoning Valley Scrappers. They're doing pretty good right now. We talked about them a little bit on Monday. I mean, they are YSN. We can talk about them. But hopefully we can see more. I got to go there tonight and work that game tonight. So hopefully we can see more from them.
Tonight, travel mug giveaway. First 1,000 adults get travel mugs. So
yeah.
Get there early.
Yeah, I'll be there passing them out.
And then, of course, you can tune into tonight's game as well to the 6-1 Mahoning Valley Scrappers taking on West Virginia on your Sports Network, 7:05 tonight.
Yep.
Sorry to steal it away there. Just had to throw out, our partnership with the Scrappers.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, hope you got something for the last part of it.
Something.
This week's Meathead of the Week.
Referees.
Cool. Been a great show, everybody. That'll do it here. Referees, they can pretty much get it every single week. Angel Hernandez throwing out some more crap as well. He's been deep up his own anus recently, so he's full of crap. It basically is what I'm saying. But that's going to do it here for the Casual Sports Podcast. This week comes to a close. I've been Alec Cabrera. That's Mike. That's Matt Morrison. Mike's been on more recently. It's what I keep doing now. Mike Wolfgang will hopefully be back on it next week. But this has been fun. Power Hour up next. And baseball on your Sports Network tonight.